welcome back. So in the previous class, we discussed the operating statement or the income statement of Apple. In this one, let's discuss the income statement of Amazon. So here we have the Amazon income statement for 3 years. These 3 years are represented by 16, 17 and 18. So let's take the latest figure which we have labeled with us. That is the year ended 31st December 2018. So this is the annual income statement of Amazon. Like I said, when it comes to income statement, we begin with revenues. Now, like Apple, Amazon is providing its product sales and service sales differently. And it shows that in 2018, Amazon sold $232 billion of revenues. Against which, it has operating expenses of $139 billion. And all these expenses, fulfillment, marketing, technology, general administrative, other operating expenses, these all can be clubbed into what? Other operating expenses, because they are indirectly associated for running of the business, but they are not directly required for selling these products and services. So these expenses, when you reduce them, you get what? You get operating income. So from these GP margins, we get operating income. Now, one difference which Amazon has as compared to Apple income statement is this. When compared to Apple income statement is this. Apple was showing gross margin of its products and services separately. In Amazon, we are not being shown gross margin and we are just being shown operating expenses. So that is not a problem for us, because the moment we have cost of sales, we can calculate the gross margin of Amazon. So we got an operating income of $12 billion on a total revenue of $232 billion. Then we have something called our interest expenses. Now we have here interest income. What does it mean? It means Amazon had invested in some fixed income securities. And from those fixed income securities, it is receiving some interest income of around $4 billion. But it has taken debt, and for paying the debt, Amazon has to pay $14 billion of interest expenses. So that gives a net interest expenses of around $10 billion. So we have just deducted the interest income from the interest expenses. Then we have other expenses, and we got our total non-operating income or non-operating expenses in this case, since it is a negative, around $11 billion. So that gives our taxable income to be around $11 billion. And from that, we have to deduct income taxes or the taxes to the government. That comes out to be around $1.1 billion. And our net income, which is for equity shareholders, is around $10 billion. So you see how we are seeing the income statement? Instead of just looking at the $10 billion figure, we are bifurcating our income statement in gross margin, even though Amazon itself is not bifurcating it. We are bifurcating an income statement in gross margin, in operating margin, and in net margin income. Here is a simple summary in Excel. Amazon has generated total sales of $232 billion, against which its cost of sales of $139 billion. Its gross profit is pretty high with 40%, that is $93 billion. That means for a dollar of sales, it is earning 40 cents on that dollar of sale as GP margins. But its operating profit is only 5%. So what does this mean? It means that Amazon has huge other operating expenses. And this can be confirmed when we look at the income statement of Amazon. In the income statement of Amazon, we could see that the cost of sales was $139 billion, but there were a lot of other expenses in terms of fulfillment expenses, your marketing, your technology and content, that is your basically Amazon Prime content, your general administrative expenses, which is increasing the other operating expenses by a huge amount. And this can be seen in our operating profit margin. Amazon is only having an operating profit margin of 5% as compared to the Apple operating margin of more than 30%. And accordingly, after that operating profit, after it has debt also, and after paying that debt, its net income margin is only 4.33%. Now, obviously, this was in 2018. A lot has changed in Amazon. But the purpose of showing you the income statement of Amazon and Apple is to tell you how a real world company's income statement looks like. And as you can see, it was not much difference or it was almost similar to the income statement which I show you in the format. So, in summary, in next time when you are making or looking at the income statement of a business, don't just look at the bottom line. Look at your income statement in this way.